Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to, I was going to say Tuesday night, but it's not Tuesday night.
It is not. No.
It's not even Monday night for you.
Not yet.
No, but it's Monday night here. So welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. Just let us know if you can see us and hear us. Things were a little different setting up today. So we just want to say welcome to everybody that's here. Feels a little different being here at a different time from a different place, but
yes,
we're here. So I'm Noelle, and this is my friend
Kelly.
And we're coming to you from, I am in Copenhagen in Denmark, and Kelly, you are in
Southwestern Ontario, the tiny little town of Courtright.
So we are an ocean apart tonight. So
an ocean apart in 5 hours. Yes, 5-hour time change.
Six.
It is 6?
That's why I got it wrong last time. I was thinking it was only 5, but it's actually 6.
So it's 9:00 p.m. where you are?
9:00. Yes.
Okay. So it is 6 hours. Yes. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So, welcome everybody. We're glad you're all here. We know it's sometimes a little bit hectic when we change days and times. We've got people that would normally be here that can't make it, but then we've got other people that can't make it at our normal time and are joining us here tonight. So welcome to everybody. We're glad that you're able to join us. And yeah, so we've got 2 weeks worth of info for tonight.
We do. I know. So, it seems very strange.
We've both been at knitting events, so I'm sure you'll be excited to hear about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just have to say, Copenhagen is absolutely beautiful, and I'm hoping that this will not be my last time here. I'm hoping I will get a chance to come back. It's amazing. We've had great weather. It's been a little bit cool sometime when we were on a boat ride. It was very cool, but the rest of the time it's actually been fairly nice. Today was gorgeous. I think it's gorgeous where you are too, Kelly.
It is today,
like 21
finally.
degrees.
Yes, mm-hmm. yes.
Mm-hmm. And sunny, and we had a beautiful trip today to a little Danish town, which I don't think I can pronounce, but I'm going to try. Stuba Koning. I'm sure I'm probably wrong, but it was a wonderful place to visit. Absolutely beautiful scenery along the way, and the town was amazing. So, mm-hmm. Yeah. So we should.
And you are in Copenhagen for how much longer before your next?
Just till Wednesday. We leave Wednesday morning and we go to Gothenburg for a couple of nights. And then from there, we go on to Norway. So next week, we will do this again next Monday night. But at that point, we will be in Oslo. So.
Okay. Very good. Right. Very good. And I was away this weekend as well. Saturday was actually LYS Day, or Local Yarn Store Day. Is that a worldwide thing? I believe it is, right?
Well, I don't know. I know Knit in Public is, because they call it Worldwide Knit in Public.
Worldwide Knit in Public. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if Local Yarn Store Day is or not. I didn't hear anything about it here at any of the yarn stores.
Okay.
So.
All right. So in Canada, we'll start by saying that it was Local Yarn Store Day, and a lot of the yarn stores get on board with this and they celebrate. And our local yarn store here would be Little Red Mitten, and that is in St. Thomas, about an hour and a bit away from here for me. And they paired that together with a little knitting retreat getaway weekend called Flock Together. And I and a group of people from Sarnia went, and people from all around other areas, London, St. Thomas. There were some ladies there from Paris. Not the real
Ontario,
Paris,
Ontario.
Ontario. Yes, not the real Paris, as Zoe would say. But anyway, we had, and from the States, we had visitors from the States and visitors from Georgetown. And I'm sure there were other areas as well. But we got together and hung out at a hotel that Leo and Little Red Mitten put together. And we had a fantastic time. There were some teaching classes there if you so chose. And then, of course, there were multiple trips to the yarn store. Friday night, they had a knit along at the yarn store as well, Little Red Mitten. And then they had a little pop-up shop of the Leo and Roxy yarn at the retreat as well. And it was basically just a weekend of hanging out and knitting. And as per my usual, I did way more talking and socializing than I did knitting. It just happens. I get so excited to see what everybody's working on, but I did learn some new things, and I will be showing you that later in the podcast. So we had a great weekend. And I'm looking here.
We're
Gwen says they have LYS in the United States.
In the US, yes.
And actually, Be Making Joy says that she found an LYS celebration at a quilt yarn store in Kona, Hawaii. So, maybe some other countries are getting on board with it for sure.
Well, I do think it's Canada and the US, but I'm not sure about anything over here. So our group this week, I believe that there's 26 knitters and a couple of husbands. And everybody is just so nice. We've got people here from the States, and they're from the state East Coast, the West Coast, the middle, from Hawaii. We've got, I believe that someone's here from the Netherlands. And there's also James Herson is here from New Zealand. He has a podcast in New Zealand. So it's a wonderful group of people. We've had a lot of fun doing the classes together and going to different events. Today was really amazing. We actually went to this little Danish town. It was probably about an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4 drive. And a Danish designer, Vivian Hawksbro, she put on a little, she had a little video for us to show us some of her designs. We actually went over in one of the older churches there, and then they made us lunch, and then they had a group of Danish knitters, like local Danish knitters, that actually came in, and we all had a fun afternoon knitting together and just comparing how we do things and the different patterns. And it was just lovely. And Vivian had a lot of her sweaters there, a lot of her samples there. So we got the opportunity to see them and feel them and try some on. And I'll show you later in acquisitions, I did buy something there. And it was a great time. And Vivian was amazing. She's got a book coming out this October. She's got several books out already, but she's got a book coming out this October. But she is turning 80. I cannot believe this lady has so much energy and she's just so joyful and kind to everybody. I cannot believe. I hope I have that much energy when I'm 80. So
Leah says that she has taken many classes with Vivian. So she must be somewhere.
She's really into modular knitting. But now, what did she call it? Oh, I can't remember. She didn't call it modular, but it's like modular based knitting, but she does a lot of other things too. So yeah, so she had quite a few sweaters that I tried on that I'm in love with. So I need to get her book so that I can make them. So
the list got longer.
Joanne, I don't know if she wrote the traditional Danish nightshirts book. She does have books, but she does have one that is traditional Danish designs, and it is actually published in English. So some of her books are in Danish, but this one in particular that's got the sweaters that I want to make is actually in English. So, okay. So we should probably get started. Now, did you have any questions or anything from last week or the week before?
I did, and I didn't write it down. I was scrolling and I came across one, and I thought I'll bring that up on next week's Knit Chat. And then of course we weren't here last week, and let me try to find it and bring it up for next week. But did you have anything?
I just have a couple, they're really not questions. We had talked a little bit 2 weeks ago about dyeing the mohair yarn that we got from Elite Spun. So I did have a couple of people that have dyed it and have sent me some photos. So I'll show you the photos here of what they did with their mohair yarn. Okay, so here is one of them. Now, this was Melina, and she actually used Kool-Aid. She said she used 4 different colors of Kool-Aid. She said she's sorry, but she didn't write them all down. And she said when she had it all in and the yarn was wet, she didn't particularly like it, but it looks beautiful now. So she's got all different shades of like a coral and like a pinky color, and a little bit of it still left undyed. So that was from Melina. And then we also had Marnie.
So pretty.
And Marnie said that she dyed hers with a natural organic food coloring made with beets. So she said she put the food coloring and vinegar in a jar, put the yarn in it, and left it in the sun.
Okay.
And that's a beautiful color. So,
all right.
So we have to get experimenting with and see what we can come up with.
And I actually have an update for you as well on the dyeing, because Susan and Tracy were visiting us from Grosse Pointe for the weekend. And there's actually these little dye packs, they call it teabag dyeing, that they sell on Knitcodes. And it comes in a 2-pack of color. And then you also get 2 little pouches of citric acid, and the 2 colors are complementary. And they very successfully dyed some fiber, and were able to dye out of 1 packet, which said it would dye a 100-gram skein. They were successfully able to dye 2 100 skeins and 2 minis, all the same color. And so I definitely want to order some of that too, and give that a try. And so, yeah, we talked a little bit about that this weekend with some other people too. So yeah, we've got some experimenting
to do. That's right. Yes. That's right. And Melina had said that when you use the Kool-Aid has the citric acid in it already. You actually don't have to use any type of a mordant to get the dye to attach to the yarn.
Okay.
But again, I think we had talked before, and I know in Canada, it's very difficult to find that powdered Kool-Aid, but someone did say, I think they said they got it at Len's Mills.
Well, I'm actually going to Len's Mills in Chatham tomorrow. So maybe I'll have a look around.
I'll have to have a look. Yep.
And so what am I specifically looking for? How will
well, I it's the pack, it's the little packages. So it's not pre-sweetened. It doesn't have any sugar
the unsweetened.
Just
all right.
the unsweetened. Yep.
Okay. I will look for some tomorrow.
The only question I actually had was about socks and whether adding mohair to the socks will limit the stretchiness of the socks. I didn't find that in mine, and I've knit several pairs and worn them. I found, if anything, they almost stretch out a little bit when you wear them, but then when you wash them, they kind of come back to shape. So, but no, I didn't find that it altered the stretchiness of the sock at all. So
no, not at all.
It will, you'll probably have to change your needle size if you don't want them super tight, though, because the mohair added to it will make a thicker weight when you're knitting it. So I've knit mine on 3mm needles, I believe.
Same.
Yeah. So, okay.
I had somebody did ask me today too, though, if they could use the Surrey alpaca as a sock instead of the mohair. And yes, absolutely. Just be aware, like there's different types of Surrey alpaca. There's a thicker one, and then there is a lace weight. So if you're using a lace weight, then yes, that would interchange with the mohair completely. But if you are using thicker, then you're going to go probably almost from a DK weight with the mohair to a worsted if you're using the heavier. So you would have to adjust your pattern.
Yeah, it's just trial and error to see
what's a good fit.
That you like them. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So do you want to move on to what we're wearing?
Sure. Let's just do that. I just want to point this out too, though, before we get too far. Dorothy says that she's just finished at the hand therapist. She had a bike accident 2.5 weeks ago, and she has been given the go ahead to knit with worsted weight at a loose gauge. So that's exciting. That's always exciting. And I want to say a special hello to Isabel, who's hanging out poolside in Mexico with her frozen mojito and her Willa project sweater. So that's great. Have a fantastic time, Isabel. Cannot wait to see you next month in Montreal.
That's right. I'll just say tonight I am having the dinner of champions. Red wine, Cadbury mini eggs.
Perfect.
That's right. So if you see me drinking my wine,
Yeah, and since it's
Cheers.
just shortly after 3 o'clock here, I've not had dinner yet. And usually I'm sitting through Knit Chat on a Tuesday night, and Noelle and I both do this. We don't eat until Knit Chat is over.
Yep.
And so I'm sitting there, and sometimes I'm thinking, oh, my tummy's feeling a little hungry. Well, trust me, I'm not feeling, I just feel so discombobulated today doing this in the middle of the afternoon. I kept watching the clock all day long, thinking, oh, how much time do I have before I have to run downstairs and set everything up and get ready? But okay. All right. Yeah, that's what we're wearing. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to start or
So
shall
Kelly,
I?
no, you go ahead. What are you wearing?
Okay. I am wearing the Stripes sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I knit this last year for Rhinebeck, didn't I? Yes, I did. And
Yes.
I do have a couple of pictures in here so you can see the sweater. It is using the Alpaca Mist and by Estelle Yarns. Very economical, very lovely to work with unless you have to try to take it out. It knits like a dream, but I was not happy with the bind off on my hem, so I had to take that out. There was no unpicking it. I ended up having to cut it off the day before I wore it when we were at Rhinebeck, I think, and redo that part. But I love this sweater. It is so lightweight. It's just a dream to wear. It is, the Estelle alpaca is actually 89%. So we'll call it 90% superfine alpaca. And then there is 11% polyamide, like a nylon in there. So it does have some memory in it to hold the garment together so it doesn't stretch out like you may typically think an alpaca that keeps growing. This one actually really holds its shape well. And it does knit up to a worsted weight. I'm pretty sure I knit this sweater using 4mm needles. It came together really quickly. I think I only did maybe 8 rows, I think, for each color. And I think I stayed pretty true to the pattern. I don't really think I modified anything too greatly other than the bind off I did. And how I ended up accomplishing that is that I wanted to have a little bit of stretch, but I didn't want the hem to flare out. So I did the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. Is it Jenny? Jenny?
Yes.
Yes.
It's Judy's Magic Cast On.
Judy casts on, Jenny casts off. Okay.
Yeah.
I did that. But what I did is I only did her method every other stitch. So I did like just a regular pass the stitch over on every other stitch. And then I did her method, alternating stitches. So I got just the perfect, in my opinion, for this sweater, just the perfect amount of give. And I actually, I made this sweater to go with this dress, which is a hinterland dress. And I made the dress as well using the same color linen and a coordinating linen. I put a button placket, off-centered button placket down the side. And then I chose multiple color buttons that duplicated the colors in the sweater. And I'm really happy with it. Now, I do find that I can only wear it with that dress because it really matches so well. And because I did make it quite cropped. So, but other than that, it's a great sweater to wear. And in fact, I may have bought more of it to make a sweater for Montreal this weekend, but that's later talk. Okay.
Okay. I am wearing Ranunculus by Midori Hirose, and this is a sweater that I made, I don't know, last year or the year before. I think it might have been the year before, but this is made with the Knitting Loft Care, and that is their own brand. And the makeup of the Care is 70% silk, 20% mohair, and 10% nylon. This color is fluorescent coral, comes in 100-gram skeins. It's one skein, and this is just so light, so airy, like it weighs nothing. Actually, I had this on today, and it was actually perfect for the 21-degree weather. So it's kind of different than your regular mohair silk because the silk content is the main component of it, as opposed to in most mohair silks, the mohair is the main component. But it has a nice sheen. It comes in, they have amazing colors, a lot of colors in it. And this is the smallest size in the ranunculus, but it's also modified, so it's a little bit smaller. So probably I would say with 2 skeins of this, you could probably knit quite a few of the sizes in the ranunculus pattern.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And plus I did the sleeves like down to my elbow. You could make the sleeve short or long if you wanted to, but we know well, both of us love the ranunculus pattern. It can be done in so many different yarns at so many different weights. And this is just so, and it's easy for packing too, because you can just roll it up into basically almost nothing to pack it. So
that's right. And Julia, yes, you're not wrong. The Knitting Loft still has their 20% off local yarn store sale, their online sale that's going on. And I think it ends tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's midnight. So if you want to take advantage of any of that, then absolutely hop on there. It's 20%, I think, store wide. It's everything in the store, which is a huge sale.
Yeah, they have their own brand. Are beautiful yarns. So anyway, okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. So, do you have any finishes this week? Okay. How many?
I've got 1, 2, 3.
I've got one that I did, but then I've got 3 others.
One that you did and 3 others that who did?
one that I did and 3 others that I didn't do.
Okay, go ahead. You get to start this section then.
Okay. Well, my first one, I don't have it with me because I finished it before we left. So the first one is my Booble Socks by Nancy Wheeler. We talked about these before, and I did them I've just got a couple of pictures here. So there's the finished socks. So I actually did them in, the main yarn is Timber Yarns Twin Sock. Yes, Twin Sock. And the colorway is Kindness Matters. And my contrast yarn, that pink yarn, is actually a yarn that Leo and Roxy dyed for me. It's Zoe's birthstone, so we're birthstone, but they dyed that when Rachel went in there to get me a Mother's Day present a few years back. Well, it was quite a few years back because at that point there was only Molly, Isla, and Zoe.
Yes,
yes. So I got a skein of yarn in each of the girls' birthstones. So this, I've already made myself a pair of socks in it, and I still had some left. So this is the Zoe. Actually, it's October. So in this pattern, I did the cuff a little bit differently. I kind of did just something in the pink to kind of make it look like the breast cancer ribbon. And then I followed the Booble pattern. But what I did was, every time my color stripe was beginning on a row that had pearls in it, the first row of the pearl stitches, so that you wouldn't get all those little pearl ridges showing through.
Yes.
So then you just get a nice smooth transition from each stripe to the next stripe without seeing those little ridges in the color work. And then here's just kind of close up of that. So you're not seeing that. So again, as you come up a pattern, you can see there's like kind of a rib pattern in it. So every time, if the color changed, the first color or the first row of that color, I would knit where the pearls were supposed to be. And it really doesn't break it up very much. Like you really can't, unless you look really close, you can't really see that it should have been a pearl there as opposed to a knit. I think it's actually more obvious if you do the pearl and you get the 2 color bumps on it. So yeah, so a great pattern to knit. Nancy's patterns are all amazing, but fun pattern to knit. And again, self-striping goes so quickly because you just want to keep getting
it does. It just keeps inciting you to keep moving through.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm just laughing at this comment, Isabel. Isabel says, don't remind her about the knitting sale because she has no impulse even from Mexico. Well, here's a little word of caution, Isabel, because the last time I was in Mexico and I was trying to order a bra from Knix, a Canadian site, I couldn't successfully log on to a Canadian site in Mexico. I had to FaceTime Noelle so the Noelle could order my bras. So they were here when I got home. So if you need
there's a way.
There's intervention. Yeah, really if you need some intervention, we can make it happen for you. Don't worry.
So
okay, what do I have finished? Well, first I'll show this because I would have had this one last week too, but it's done now. And now it feels like it's way done because it was an Easter project and it was my Peter Cottontail quilted wall hanging that I finished. And so I made this and I did have it up before Easter, but I do have a couple of photos that I can show you of it hanging up on the wall just so you can see it a little bit better than me trying to hold it up. Pretty. So I used fabrics that I got at Fabricland, and this was a pattern actually that I found for free on the internet. Mine is significantly different, But the part that I did get inspiration from is actually the rabbit in the center and her tulips. And then I completely sashed and bordered it different than she did. But it is a free pattern on the internet by Julie Cephalou if you're a quilter and you're interested in something like that. And I have one other photo of it hanging on the wall. And I did get asked how I was hanging these things on the wall. And what I did is I created a little pocket on the back for the quilt. And I stitched that on. And then I just have a piece of wood that I got really cheap at Home Depot. You could use a yardstick, although they don't sell wood yardsticks anymore. So it was cheaper to buy a little piece of trim, and it's pretty much the same size as what a yardstick used to be. And I just have this little pocket on the back and it slides through. And then I have a ring at the middle. So this board goes all the way across and holds everything nice and sturdy. So that's what I had. And now he will get rolled up and put away for next Easter. Okay.
Very cute. Okay, so my next, well, these actually the next two are, they were given to Ross and I by our wonderful friend Jill, because she thought we might need to use them while we're here. So she actually made both of us a hat.
Oh, how lovely.
And here's mine. Now, I forgot to ask. I know she told me the name of this and I can't think of it. So I will get it for next week and I'll put it on there. But it's just,
I love
beautiful.
that picot edge. So pretty.
Up. There's a picot edge all around and then there's also the picot edge down around this too. So you've kind of got it matching. And it looks really cute on. I'm not going to put it on now because my hair is a mess in Denmark because I couldn't bring my curling iron with me and my flat iron and but it's absolutely beautiful. Crown stitches. The yarn is so soft. And Ross and I went for a little walk the first night. I don't know, one night it was really kind of chilly and we had them on and they were perfect. So not only did she make me one, but she made one for Ross. So Ross's is
very nice.
The bankhead. And I know his yarn is a Walcott yarn, not the Opus, but Walcott has another yarn out now. And I can't remember. I needed to write all this down, but I will get that info.
It looks like a woolen spun yarn, is it? It looks really cozy.
I'm not sure what the makeup of the yarn is, but Walcott does the Opus, but this is another one that they're making now. So his fits him perfectly. He's had his on several times. We forgot to bring them when we went on the canal ride in the boat. And believe me, we could have used them because it was freezing on the canal ride. But
oh no.
Thank you so much, Jill. They're beautiful. And we probably will get to you because I'm thinking in Bergen it's going to be cold. So
I bet. Yeah, for sure. Okay. The next thing that I did finished is something that I cast on. Is it casting on? Is it called? Yeah, I cast on this.
Yeah, I cast on. Yeah.
Pardon me? No, but I'm thinking when you crochet, is it still called casting on or is it called chaining on? I'm not even sure.
I don't know. I don't know.
So I made a little granny square chicken, and this is, what did I even call her? Oh, I called her Henny McHookery. She is. Isn't she cute?
That's cute.
And she's got a little tail. So when I went to Little Red Mitten, they have, I'll show you these. Let me get the right pouch going here. They have the little Rikorumi.
Oh, yeah.
The minis.
The little balls.
These are by, the Rico yarn. And these are cottons, but it's a really soft cotton and it's a DK cotton. Like I have lots of worsted weight cottons, but I didn't have any DK. So they have all of these tiny little balls. And they're just so fun. I couldn't stop buying them. What I was actually buying them for was this book here, my crochet gnomes that I bought. And so I bought colorways to make a snowman and actually this little reindeer. And then I got thinking, well, I probably could have a little chicken too. So then I started buying colors for the chicken, and they're $3 a ball. And I used, for most of this little chicken, other than this beige taupey color, which you use a little bit more of, I used 3 grams. There's 25 grams in those balls. I could make many, many, many chickens. I
Yeah.
won't. So this is as close to as an emotional support chicken as this girl is going to get. But it was very fun to do. And I didn't take crochet hooks with me, so I had to borrow one from Jillian. And I also did not have, when I went looking for eyes this morning to put on this, when I stitched it up, I did not have just plain black 12mm eyes. So don't look too closely. This is a chicken and she has reptile eyes. Like they have the splits in them, but what the heck, right? Anyway, I think she's very cute. She may need a friend. I don't know, but I think she's very cute. I did go up a needle size from the pattern. It's the pattern is extremely well written. It gives you lots of instructions. There's also photos in the pattern of every step, as well as a very well done video tutorial if you are a visual learner. The pattern is not very much money, and I did have a banner. I should have put the banner up. I think I got talking about it and then never just put it up. It is the Granny Square Chicken by Sweet Softies. And she...
Is there not a free pattern? I thought when I did it, I used a free I thought there was a free pattern. I thought when I did, because I did those, and maybe it's changed from when I did it.
Maybe it's a different designer, I wonder.
No, it was exactly the same by Sweet Softies.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I think...
But that could be, that was probably, that was 2 summers ago, I think I did it. So it could be...
Yeah, I think it was $4 US, okay. Not very much money. And anyway, so I have the pattern. And she did recommend using a 2.75 hook. I found that was going to be a little bit tight with the cotton. Mm-hmm. If you were using a yarn, I think you could get away with it, but using the cotton, not so much. So I went up to a 3.25. Having said that, I think I easily could have done this with a 3. So if I make another one, I would probably use a 3. And then I'm looking forward to making the little gnomes out of some of the other colors. And then I did buy one other thing that kind of goes along the same. And I don't have a picture of it, but they had one at the store, and I was with Ruth, and she said that she had made one. And this is, now they have the Rikurumi in chenille. You see this?
Okay. Yep.
And so I got 2 colors, and this will make a little pocket bear by the same designer. And then you embroider a little heart on the front of his sweater. And I thought Miles might really like to have that. He got a new bike basket for Easter, and I thought he might enjoy biking around town and having a little pocket bunny in the front there to carry along with him. So that's what that is for. But yeah, a lot of fun. I love the little projects. They're fun to do and quick, quick gratification. If you need a palette cleanser between a project, that's always fun too.
Okay, so Julia said that you can get the pattern free on her blog, but then you've got all the advertising in it. So
okay,
so my next one was a total surprise. So one of the first days that we were here, we had a trip to Tivoli Gardens, which is the inspiration that Walt Disney used for making Disneyland and Disney World in the States. And so by this point of the day, like it was very pretty, but we thought we're ready for like a coffee and a cake in the cafe. So we went to the cafe and we were sitting there, and this lady was there. I don't know her name, and she didn't speak much English. She spoke a little bit of English, but Jill and I both really admired her. Well, Jill said to me, because I had seen her scarf, but I thought, yeah, it's very pretty, but I thought I might have known what it was, but I didn't. But anyway, so Jill said that she thought it was a scarf, and it is, and I thought it was a pretty scarf. So I thought, well, I'm going to go over and ask her just what it is or what the pattern is. So I went over to ask her, and she was so nice and so pleasant. And she said she's knit it quite a few times, but she didn't remember what the pattern was, but she thought that there was a tutorial on YouTube, but she wasn't sure. So she took it off and she let us take some pictures of it. And then we went and sat back down, and probably about 5 minutes later, she came over and she gave me the scarf.
Oh, wow.
She said,
That's so sweet.
Yeah, she said, I want you to take this home with you. And she was asking where we were from. And yeah, so super nice. I still don't know what the pattern is, but I do have the scarf. It's
very
perfect
pretty
size. It looks kind of like, Jill and I were trying to figure out, and I think it looks a little bit like The Hitchhiker by Martina Bum,
but it's got but the eyelet is different.
A little I-cord edge. So I'm thinking if I sit down with it, I should be able to decipher it and figure it out. And I think it's about a worsted weight yarn, but it's just, that just was
very nice.
Yeah. Jenny called it a knitting miracle. It was a knitting miracle.
You have a habit of getting things from people though, right?
Knitters everywhere are just so nice.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you to that wonderful, wonderful Danish knitter that she said I've knit a lot of them, and I can see why, because they are perfect gift knitting size.
Yes.
And so
Very
hopefully I'll be
nice.
able to figure out what the pattern is behind that. So
Very good. Okay, so I have another finish too. I did actually accomplish something at the knitting retreat. I said I would do something and I did get it done. So I finished my sweater while I was there. So this is the Sattler sweater by Bristol Ivy, and I don't have it blocked yet. I was going to block it actually early this morning when I got up right away. And then when I woke up, I saw your message that we were going to podcast today. So I said, nope, I can't block it today. It will be wet. So I will block it tonight so that I can, I'll get some finished photos of it this week and show off. So this is
that's
the
gorgeous.
Sattler sweater.
Very nice.
I do have a picture that Julia was kind enough to take. So you can see it a little bit better. So it has, I used the knitted in yarn, and I held two of them together throughout the body of the sweater. But then I also had one ball of a gradient of knitted in that started out as a burgundy and faded into like a beige. So I started, I got rid of one of the brown strands and I held the brown and the burgundy together. And then this is just what it faded up to naturally as it went into the beige. And I love it. I absolutely love the way the gradient looks. It just gives this sweater just a little something extra. And I just want to again say a huge thank you. And I'm sorry, her name has just left my head. Was it Colleen? Candace, sorry. Oh, I had a C name. Sorry. A huge thank you to Candace for gifting Noelle and I a massive box of knitted in. I am in love with this yarn. I mean, yes, it breaks easy, but it's so easy to put together. You just keep going, even as far as there are no ends to weave in when you're done because you haven't created any ends throughout the entire sweater. You're just weaving in and you're continuing to knit. It was a dream to work with it. I knit this on 6mm needles, although I did go down here. I switched down to a 5 because the yoke was growing faster than it should have. I had to leave off one of the lace repeats. And what I will say about this sweater is, although it looks very simplistic, I would not recommend this sweater to a beginner. The pattern, I had some difficulties with it. It is a bottom-up sweater, and there was some calculations required on my part to carry on with the pattern. I'm not really sure how else to say that. Some of the cues that you're given in the pattern, I didn't feel lined up. So, I mean, it could have been my error, but I'm a fairly confident sweater knitter. And there were multiple instances where I had to do some calculations to carry on. So I would caution a beginner knitter. I did make some changes in the pattern as well. As I said, I already left off the last lace repeat in order to get the sweater to fit. And then I did change as well the ribbing. I liked the way a twisted rib looked as opposed to the 1x1 that was recommended in the pattern. I thought this yarn just kind of really called for a little bit more of the definition, and I'm happy with that choice. So, but then when I bound off the neck, I just bound off regular. This yarn, I don't think would have withstood something like a tubular bind off that I would normally do. So I just did a regular bind off, and I have enough elasticity to get that over my head. Everything looks good. I had multiple try-ons. I had multiple coaches throughout the weekend telling me what they felt I should be doing, and it was all appreciated. So it was the village sweater, I'll call it, because it took a village to get it done. But tomorrow's supposed to be really cold. If I were to block it right after this, I might get to wear it tomorrow. It's hard to say. But after that, I don't know if I'll get a chance now until fall, but maybe I'll take it camping with me this summer because in Nova Scotia, I know we'll still have some cool weather for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I've had lots of people come in here saying that they think they might know what the scarf is. So I will check out those suggestions and I'll see if I can find it for next week, because we're even thinking here that it would be the perfect scarf to like the Cardiff cashmere.
Okay.
Have a nice little. So anyway, so I will take a look at some of the suggestions here and see if I can find out what it is. So, because I would certainly make one.
Perfect.
So,
okay.
So any more finishes?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, but okay, just a minute.
Okay.
I have some finishes that somebody else did that I asked permission to show off because we were blown away by this little project.
By some of that, yeah.
Yes. So this weekend, as I said, we were at a knitting retreat weekend, and Ruth and her daughter Lindsay joined us from Georgetown, and Ruth had this little project. Wait till you see this. So she made this for her granddaughter, her 2-year-old granddaughter. This little barn was a quilt panel, and it has the little carrying straps, because wait until you see. So she's got, like, I don't know if you can see really well, but she has little buttons sewn all over it. She has little bumblebees. She has flower pots on the other side. There's a little shovel that she found. Like, there's a bluebird up in that window box. Everything was just delightful. And then when you open it up, it lays flat, and look at what's inside. It's an entire stable with pockets. And even there's a clock up there in the eaves that you can see. She's got little sheeps on those hills looking out the barn windows. There's 2 dogs, because that family happens to have 2 dogs. And then here's a close-up of the little animals that she made that fits in the pocket. Adorable. And the little girl that's on the far right beside the pig represents her granddaughter. And I should have taken a close-up, because she has very tight little ringletted hair, and she baked that. She wrapped it around a little skewer stick and baked it in a low temperature oven so that those little curls would hold. So she like flat ironed those little curls into place, so they're springy. But she's got a cow, there's a chicken, there's a mallard duck, which is phenomenal. But my personal favorite was that little goat in the middle. He's got a little beard, and he's got spots on him. Like, the detail that she put into these little animals, it's truly inspiring. And hay bales there for the animals to sleep on. And I just asked if she would mind if I shared some photos, because I really think that is a grandma's love project. That is pretty amazing project. So, okay.
So on to whips. Do you have any whips?
I do have whips. I've got just a couple, I think, to show. Yes.
I have 5.
Okay. You go ahead.
Okay. The first one is socks, because I did do socks on the plane. I mean, the pattern's not socks on a plane. I mean, I knit socks on the plane, not the socks on a plane pattern. So I finished one. So this, I don't have any blockers or anything with me. This is just a pattern that I made up. I put this little detail in it because then I didn't have to count rows. So it's just a little, I don't even know what that stitch is called.
That's really nice yarn. What is that yarn?
This is the Alegria. This is the Manos del Uruguay Alegria that came in the really super striped one. I can't remember what the name of it was. And then it came with a mini. So it actually came with the mini, 100 grams of the sock yarn plus the extra mini. So I started it off I did a alternating cable cast on. Then I just did a couple of rows in the contrast color, and then went right into like a knit one, purl one, twisted the main color, and then did a heel flap and gusset and just the rounded toe. But I've got enough left to do that for the other sock, but I've got a lot of it really is neat sock yarn. Like, it's really,
it's pretty. It's really pretty.
Quite colorful. But yeah, I really like it. I did a sample in this yarn before but it was in a different colorway. It had more purples and yellows in it, but it really does stripe nicely.
It's really nice.
It feels like this Alegria yarn. Like, I haven't worked with it for a while. It feels amazing.
I have some of that, and I never know what it's going to look like. I can't tell. I have a really pretty.
Well, this one, because I knew I had worked with the yarn in a different color, I knew I was going to stripe like this. And the reason that I chose it to take on the plane was because it was already rolled.
Yes, and Victoria, Victoria is right. She says it's better to have socks on a plane than snakes on a plane.
I agree. I know, but then this week I'm gonna be knitting it when I go to Sweden and to Norway. So I'll be doing, but it won't be socks because they're not socks on a plane. I'll be doing socks on a train.
Socks on a train, yes.
So these will be my socks on a train and a plane.
I think it's Carrie who's planning
yes.
the cast on the Booble socks when we go to Montreal on the train, and she's calling it Boobles
Okay.
on the train. So
There you go. There you go. Okay, so that's my first whip, and I did those on I took the 2.25 millimeter needles, the Licca.
the wooden
So
ones,
they're
yes.
wooden. So I had absolutely no problem on the plane.
Good, very
So,
good. How long was your flight?
8 hours. 8 hours.
8 hours. Okay.
Right, but 3 hours in the airport beforehand, then 8 hours.
I
Then
know.
the reason that we didn't podcast last week, once we got to the airport, the driver that was supposed to pick us up, there was some confusion and they left without us, and we waited another 2 hours after we got our luggage before we got.
Yeah.
So anyway,
We had a
I
similar
was pretty
situation
tired
in
by the time we
Ireland.
got there.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a similar situation in Ireland. And by the time I finally got there, and I had contracted a cold on the way, so I had like a sinus thing going on. And then there was many additional hours of traveling. I was completely teabagged by the time we got there. But
Yeah. Yeah. My eyes were too bloodshot to podcast.
and not from wine, right?
And not from wine. That's right.
No.
So, okay.
All right. What have I got in here? Okay. So something else that I learned this weekend that, okay, I'll show you this quilt first. So I am making this quilt, which is called the Library Nook Quilt by Modern Charm Stitchery. And it is a scrappy, if you want to, 9-patch quilt. But if you can see those little flowers, again, I'm pointing with my mouse. I know you can't see it, sorry, but there are flowers in there, and those are done with English paper piecing. And I have never done English paper piecing before, and it is sort of a long project. It isn't something that you do like very, very quickly, but I knew that Lindsay was coming to the meetup. So I asked, because I know that she is an English paper piecer, because we saw her working on it in Chicago last year. And do you remember she had the entire case with all the little hexies in there, Noelle? And I have a picture
Yes.
now. Look at how much she has accomplished. They are now all stitched together in sections of
Wow.
4. That is a lot of stitching, friends, a lot of stitching. So I asked her if she would be kind enough to spend some time showing me what she does with her English paper piecing, just so that I'm not going into this blind and making all sorts of errors. It's very nice to have somebody that's kind enough to get you started off on the right foot and show you all the ins and outs. So here she is. And also, I might mention Lindsay is an art teacher, and she is a very good teacher. So she showed me how to make them. So I assembled my little package of goodies. I had some fabrics in here. I had some needles. I had the wrong needles, but that's okay. I'm on the track to get the right needles. And she showed me how to use the little papers that I had ordered and this little glue stick. So I had this little stack of papers and glue sticks, and I was busy cutting. So my goal was to make one flower, and I did. And this is my finished flower.
Oh,
So
that's pretty.
it's a lot of fun. It's so much
Yeah.
fun. And so Julia said that I must show my stitches, my tiny stitches. But so I did the center, and I did one of the petals going out. And then for homework, I had to finish some of just these in between the petals. And so when I got home last night, I spent a little bit more time actually thinking about it. I got a better needle, and I can already see improvement from where I started. So I'm just going to try to find one of my first ones. Well, this here in the center would be one of my first ones. You can see all kinds of stitches along there. Not so good. But this one here, let me find now one that I did after. Okay, this section here was newer. So already I'm getting better and getting the right amount of stitches sort of per inch and learning some tips and tricks. So now I have to go out and get a little bit more fabric. And even though this flower is not perfect, it is going in the quilt, because I think that's part of the process. And I can see how people get really addicted to this. It's just a really gentle little pastime, something small to work on. And you could put it in a nice little case and carry these along with you. I will be doing the quilt in shades of light green and purples, and then using a low volume something, and hence the trip to Len's Mills tomorrow, because I didn't quite have enough in my stash, but I'm just going to go have a little poke around and see what I can come up with tomorrow. But I'm wildly excited about having another little project on the go. Oh, so Tammy's asking why you use the paper. So why you use the paper is that the paper provides support. So you take your paper, lay it down on a bigger scrap of fabric, and you can hand baste it onto the paper, because the paper, it's a little bit stiff. Think of like light cardstock, but you know, everything is getting better with time, and there's new and better improvements. So there's this glue stick. So you just put a little bit of glue on your edges and you fold your fabric over so that you get a perfectly shaped hexagon, and then you very small little stitches hold them together. And then when you're done, and I can take this one out now, so I'll actually do it on here, you can just pop the paper out. I haven't done this yet, so I don't know. We'll see. Well, it tore. So it's supposed to be that you can use your papers up to 3 times, but obviously I caught my paper in one spot because I'm not that good at what I'm doing yet. But then once you take your paper out, see how it's just held the shape perfectly. And then you would applique this onto another square. So that's the point of using the papers. I will not be using my papers again, clearly. Lindsay had gone one step further. She, instead of purchasing the pre-cut papers, she just purchased the punch, and she makes them out of, remember the index cards that we all kept our recipes on? She can make her little hexies, and there's different size hexies. It's an entirely different rabbit hole, friends. It's an entirely different rabbit hole, but it's one that I really enjoyed doing. There's something that's very meditative about small stitches, as long as you have a good light. And I had my Lumos neck light on, so it's all good last night, and I quite enjoyed it. And I didn't have another hexie to get started on, so hence the trip tomorrow to Len's Mills. So. Okay.
So my next whip is a new bag. This was a special gift from my friend Jenny, and it's a little Harris tweed bag. And
very nice.
The project that I have in it is the absolute color, the perfect color. Like, I don't know. And I think like it seems like I've moved from pink into more of the reds and the corals. And anyway, so this is just a project that I started. This was actually Rebecca inspired. When Rebecca was here visiting us from Halliburton, she had made this scarf that was just absolutely gorgeous. Now hers was much more colorful than mine's going to be, but the name of the scarf is the Zigzag Scarf by Cam. It's a free pattern, and it's like 200 gram skeins of like a fingering weight yarn. So if you can see there, there's 2 different yarns in there, and they will change colors as I go. So the 2 yarns that I've got are 2 yarns that I actually got when I was in New Zealand. So there's the 2 yarns. So they will switch colors between, you know, like as they go. This has got more purples and stuff in it. This one's got more greens and corals in it. And it'll just make a really subtle striped scarf. So I've actually got it on my Prim needles, because I brought them
just in case
I got tired of the sock. But this is actually, I'm still working on it. It's not hard. The pattern, it's a 1-row pattern. It's not hard, but you have to kind of get it set up, because it's like knit 5, knit 2 together, and then knit 4, knit front and back. So if you get the 5 and 4s mixed up, it throws the pattern off. So right at the moment, I'm just getting kind of used to doing but I think once it gets going, it's going to be the perfect coffee shop knitting, the perfect like go anywhere knitting. It's going to take a while because it's on a 3mm needle, but it'll be that perfect project just to take and work on. And hopefully it's going to come to the point where it's just, you don't even have to think about it. So, but I'm enjoying it so far. And I think the 2 colors are going to look really nice together, and there'll be more to see once you get a few more rows in and see more colors in it. So
nice. Very nice.
And it matches my bag perfectly.
It does. It really does. Yes. Okay, before I go on to my next work in progress, I just want to go back to this question. Judy was asking, what is the name of the quilt again? I will just put this name back up. It is the Library Nook quilt by Modern Charm Stitchery, and it's actually a free pattern that she is hosting a sew along. So I think the sew along is going over 8 weeks, and we make X number of 9 patches and a flower in a week. And you can join in. I think she has a Facebook group going. She's talking about it on Instagram, and it's a very beginner friendly quilt. So it's perfect for me because I don't have a lot of quilts under my belt, and I just think it will be fun to practice some techniques, and I'm excited to see what I can come up with. And I may, I don't know. I'm thinking about actually hand stitching this quilt, the lines, because the lines are just very basic. I would just do a very basic stitch. And I've been following along for a while now, Susan B. Anderson, who does these hand stitch quilts, and she just takes like a half an hour every morning and does a little stitching with some like beautiful colors. And I've been really inspired by the way her quilts look when she's done, like how puffy they are and how lovely. And since this is a smaller size quilt, it's just considered a lap quilt, like something that you would throw over yourself, like if you're just sitting in the evening and you wanted a little something. So, or I was thinking it might be nice in our trailer, our camping trailer. So I thought this could be something that I would take along with me camping and just do a little stitching as I go, a little stitch by the campfire kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But okay. The next thing I'm working on, and this was a goal that I set for myself for the weekend too, was to finish this sweater. And I did not finish this sweater. I think I knit a total of 6 rows on the sleeve. This is my Alpenglow by Andrea Mowry. Can't believe how high up that banner is in my list because it's been on my needles for so long. But anyway, I mean, I have the sweater. I have one arm done, one sleeve done, and I am maybe
You're getting there.
I'm getting there, and it's so easy. Like I could do this in my sleep now. This is really easy, but I just felt between the 2 sweaters to finish, if I got that Sattler finish, I may get one. I might squeak a wear out of that one before I have to put it away, right? But with this one, maybe I would get a couple of wears because it's not that heavy. It's mosaic. And the yarns are very lightweight yarns. I'm using the Patagonia yarn is the dark color. It's called Anthracite. And then I have Gelen yarns for the other 2 options. And this is her Sweet 17. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the color. It's something to do with a rock, but I don't remember. Yep. And then this is her Surrey Alpaca. And this is a lace weight, so it's held double. So I was even thinking, like, I realized we're still a ways out from Montreal, but not that far out from Montreal. And typically in Canada, we have very cold weekends on the long weekend in May. So you never know. I mean, this could potentially be coming to Montreal with me, depending on what the forecast is. Because actually our long weekend this year, it seems like it's a week earlier because generally, like, we call it May 24 weekend because it's May 24th is it Queen Victoria's birthday? That's what the celebration is. And, but this year, like, we're heading to Montreal on the 15th. So it's almost a week ahead. And as I said, traditionally we get some really cold, rainy weekends. So this may come with me. The Sattler, highly doubt it. So I thought maybe I will give this one more week. Should be done it by next week. But I have a skirt that I'm making to go with it. So I thought it made more sense to finish the other one first. So, but anyway, I'm loving this pattern. I truly am. Okay.
Okay. So my next whip is my Matisha by Thea Coleman.
Sorry, I went to hide mine and I think it canceled yours.
Okay, so Mastia by Thea Coleman. So I have got it to the point where it is split for the back and the front is done up to splitting, and then I've got, still on the same needle, I've got the first side. I think I'm at the point where I have it on hold till I do the other side, and then it's got a neckband that kind of goes across and the back gets joined to. Mm-hmm. So it's absolutely love this color. So this is Sand and Scarn Tin Silk Mohair. So it's their, and then their Sunday, and both colors, it's both in the colorway Sunny Lime. So this pattern just stands out so nicely in this yarn, and she's got a nice edge that goes along. So this will be picked up though, because you're going to go and pick up, and it does have bands on it. But as you'll see later, I got distracted by another project. So this one kind of got got put away, but I will get this back out again because actually I think this might be a good sweater for Montreal because plus being a cardigan, you can kind of take it on and off if you get too hot.
Perfect.
And it's fairly light in the mohair and the Sunday held together. Like it's not a super thick, heavy fabric. So this is done on a 4.5 millimeter needle. Pretty much so far, I haven't changed the pattern at all other than doing a twisted rib instead of a regular rib, which I carried the twisted rib all the way up the band as well. But other than that, I've pretty much followed the pattern.
I love that color.
I love this color.
And the texture, you know, her patterns, Tia Coleman's patterns, aren't they just the best? Like they have such beautiful textures and really well written.
And detail and so that's, I don't know how much more work I'll get done on it while I'm here. We'll see. but it's there if I need to work on it. So, but I have to finish the other project that I'm working on because I needed the needles. So anyway, so that one had some progress. So
okay,
that's
all that I have that I actively worked on this weekend. I still have my booble socks, but I showed the finished one I think last time, and I haven't really made a whole lot of progress on my second one. So
so my next project is the knitting tour that we're on is basically hosted by Adele McBride, who is an Irish designer. And so we had a project that goes along with our, like the tour. So she actually designed this pattern basically kind of to incorporate kind of like the Irish and the Danish culture. So, and I didn't show the picture because I found a picture on the internet, but I didn't know with copyright whether I'm allowed to show it. It's a painting. So the painting was actually called, let me just look here. The painting is actually called The Meeting on the Turret Stairs. And it was painted, I believe, in London, but it's based on a medieval Danish ballad. But the painting is currently on display in Dublin, Ireland. So she's kind of melding the two colors. So the name of the pattern that she designed that kind of represents things out of this painting is the Hilla. So here's a picture of the cowl that we're doing. So it's basically got, you know, like the heraldry is this part here, and then she's got some of the other things represent the turret stairs and the turret windows and swords. So there's kind of different little sections in it. So we are actually doing it it is a Danish yarn. So this is the brand of yarn. I can't pronounce it. Heilholtz Old Spinnery is where it's from. And this is the name of the yarn is down here at the bottom. So Handverksgarn. So this is a 50% Gotland, 50% Falkland Merino. So it's really, really nice yarn. So before I even go any further, this yarn, we were gifted 2 skeins of it by our friends Jenny and Jill for us to give away on the podcast. So we will do that one week in the future, like not next week, but they're going to bring it back for me because my suitcase is getting full. so I will get it in Montreal.
Countries you have to visit.
I know. They're going to bring it back to me. So we will do like a giveaway for it. So we'll do like one on and one for after.
Very
but
nice.
they'll get a chance to try out this Danish yarn that's basically like Danish. I believe that Gotland is a pretty prevalent sheep here. So it's kind of nice to try something that's in different yarns that we don't necessarily get back in our country. So I am doing mine, and mine is in a little bit color. Is what I've got so far.
Oh, that is so nice.
So mine's more of like a taupey color, and then it's got the 2 colors in it are more like a it's almost like a cinnamony red color, and then this like green color here. But these colors kind of had little flecks of other colors in them. So I'm at the last part at the top. That's, I believe, a honeycomb cable. Now I switched mine. I did change mine a little bit. Like I did it so my buttons are just going to go right up at the top so that you can actually wear it, and then you can have it like kind of like out like that just over your shoulders. So, but I really enjoyed doing the stitches, kind of this diagonal one here. And I want to show you, Adele had been working on another sample of hers. And she actually did it so that I'll show you here, she actually even did a little bit of embroidery in the middle of those diamonds.
Yes, very nice.
Really cute. So I think I'm going to do that on mine. And then even up, you can see the honeycomb. Like I might just do something in the center of a few of those honeycombs as well. So, but I thought that looked really pretty with the flowers, and they're just in kind of every other one, not in every one.
Yes.
So, you know, you can certainly change it and make it your own.
Yeah,
and again,
absolutely.
This is in that Danish yarn. It actually feels really nice, and it's not blocked or anything yet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like blocked. And then I've just got a, she absolutely does beautiful, like Irish cable designs, and she actually sells them. Like here, I don't know if you can go online and buy them. Actually, if you go online to her shop, she does have, like, you can buy some ready-made stuff as well. She also has her own yarn brand line, and it feels like amazing and absolutely gorgeous colors. So yeah, so it was kind of fun to meet her and spend some time with her and do some of that knitting. And it's been, and we had like 3 workshops in the morning. So like basically that was just what I did at the workshops, and then it won't take me long. It'll only take me not too long to finish it up. So hopefully I'll have that finished for next week.
Yeah,
maybe not blocked, but finished. And she gave us, we had little kits with it that had the buttons and everything along with it. So.
Oh, really nice. Yes. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so my last whip is what's been taking up most of my time and attention this week. So it is the porcelain yoke sweater by Lynette, who is Lean Home Samsoy. And I've got a picture of it just to show you the, here we go. So there's the sweater. Now we went into the first day of the tour. We went to a yarn store called Sommerflugen, and which means butterfly in Danish. And one of the sales girls was wearing this sweater done, and it was just like the power of a sample. Like when you see a sample done up, it's just absolutely, and it looked amazing on her. And anyway.
And so I can see where the name comes from too. Yes, because it does. It looks exactly like that blue and white, beautiful porcelain that you see. Yes.
Yep. But I'm not doing mine in the porcelain colors.
You're not?
So no, I'm not. Of course I'm not. So this is the yarn that I ended up getting to do it in. So this is a brand that was specific to that store, and it's called Wilo, and it's soft wool. It's 100% extra fine merino wool, non-superwash. This is 50 grams.
Oh my goodness. It's so fluffy.
I know. It's like, it's so puffy and soft. There's 350 meters in 50 grams. Like it's just
like air.
It's just amazing. It is.
Yes.
So I use this color, which is color number 9. So, oh yeah, well, depending if I hold it the other way, it's color 6, but I think it's color 9. And the matching mohair, they also do their own brand of mohair.
Okay.
And then what I'm pairing mine with is, this is the same yarn, but this is, I can't remember the color. This is a different color, but I chose to hold this with this yarn. And this is knitting for Olive, Blood Orange.
Oh, I love the blood orange. I bought some of that last time from Knitting Loft. Yes.
This color just makes that yarn pop. So this is what I've got so far.
Very nice. That's so pretty.
I love it. I just love it. This it doesn't even, the picture on here doesn't even do it justice, the way that the color pops with that blood orange in it. So I did do a couple of modifications. So the neck in the pattern is a rolled neck where you turn it over. Like I always find, for me, I find them hot. So I would prefer just a single
right.
And so what I did was my alternating cable cast on, and then I did the 1 row. And then when I joined it with the taupey color. But when I do it, the first row that I do, because I don't want that ridge to show, and because I'm doing twisted rib, I do a back loop knit one all the way across. So you're still keeping the
Right.
twist of the one stip, but where the purl is, you're just knitting so that you don't get that ridge across.
Yes.
And the girl in the shop was saying that a lot of people have found that there's too many short rows in the back of the pattern, the way she does it. And she does it after the rib. So what I did is I did all my short rows in the rib, so you didn't interrupt the color work of the sweater.
Sure. Yeah.
So all the rib is just in here, and then your pattern starts the kind of like the same all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the color work is really easy.
Really
there was
pretty.
only a few spots where you actually have to catch your yarn. I think 2 rows maybe where I actually caught it. The rest of it I just kind of
yeah,
you
it's
really
so
have to catch
pretty.
it at all. I see these ones here, but I mean, this is all mohair and non-superwash wool, so it's all eventually going to kind of stick together. But so I'm past all of the color work on the body of the sweater. So I measured it. I've got 6 inches already, and my whole sweater length is only going to be 10 inches. So I'm hoping that this will get done soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just don't, I don't know.
Yes. There's a few people in here that have that sweater in their queue. And Joanne says she's long admired that design. So it's a well-known design for sure.
But yeah, but I'm just in love with this color, that the orange color is just so yeah. So that was kind of, we all knew, you know, that I was probably going to cast on new. So I think it took one day and then I cast on something new, but
of course,
I'm really enjoying it. It's just so nice when you get that project and it's like,
absolutely,
I just love it so much and it just captivates me. And that's all I want to knit on.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's that project. And then tomorrow we're going to 2 more yarn stores. We're going to one called Ulstedt, and then we're going to Knitting for Olives. So should be a fun day. So yeah. Okay. That's what Sylv's been knitting on. But it's been fun. And it's the buses are nice when you've got time to knit on the bus, but you can still kind of look out the window. And the buses is really nice because there's only like 26 or 27 of us, but we have a full-size coach. So you've got your own
everybody gets their own seat.
Yeah.
A seat for them and a seat for the knitting bag, right?
That's right, exactly. Oh, and they've got storage up top. It's great.
Very nice.
Okay. So, did you buy anything?
Well, you already saw the little minis that I bought. And the only other thing that I bought is, as I mentioned earlier, I bought some more of this yarn. They had the most gorgeous pink color. I loved it. And I thought, you know what? I've been itching to do another ranunculus and I would love to have that. And I have those black linen pants that I really think would be nice for Montreal. But then I tried to talk myself out of it on Friday because I thought I already have the Heartwarmer tee that I made that's in that beautiful free spirit color that I wear with those black linen pants. It's, you know, it's not a ranunculus and it's not alpaca, but it's, you know, a 3/4 sleeve. It's similar shaping, right? So I tried to talk myself out of it and I thought, oh, okay, if I go there tomorrow and there's another color that I really like, maybe I'll do a different color. And so I went there the next day and I got looking and I found this color and I really love this color. I love this color. So I didn't know if this color was for me. I'm not normally like a bright blue person. It happens to be Mike's favorite color on me, but I know that I don't wear it very much. So I bought this yarn to make a ranunculus. And I think that's going to look really nice with black linen pants too.
Yarn, yeah.
And that way, and it's so economical. Friends, this is $14 a skein. I bought 3 skeins and then it was 20% off for local yarn store day. So it's almost free, right? But anyway, it's a beautiful color and I highly recommend this yarn. I really, really like it. So I have to figure out what size needle I want to do that on though. And then I should have no problem. And I've also promised myself that I will not be knitting. I will not be knitting the sleeves to that sweater on the train to New York. I am going to finish that sweater, not to New York, to Montreal.
You won't be getting it on the train to New York.
No, I will get this one finished before we get on the train so that I am not pushing myself on that train. It's easy enough to get this one done. This is very doable. And we still have how many days, Julia? Julia has a countdown on her phone for everything. And I know that she's got a countdown. I think we're down to, are we 17 days, Miss Julia? I know she's in there. She'll refer back. But anyway, I know that I can get this one done. So I've got to get this one cast on maybe tonight. Okay. All right. That's all I bought.
Okay. Well, I might have bought.
I'm sure you bought considerably more. Yes.
Well, I bought the yarn for that sweater. So that's on the way. And then I loved that yarn so much that I had to get more of it. So I got it in this color, which is different than, I just wanted to show you it is different with this color.
Yes.
But if you look, I don't know if you can see on here, but it's got little flecks of all different colors in it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's got little bits of blue and yellow. Yes. Yeah.
So for this one, I'm going to do like, they only had 2 skeins of this color left. So I got the 2 skeins, but there's 350 meters each. So I'm going to do like maybe a little 3/4, just little top, but then I'm going to trim it with this mohair.
Very nice. That's really pretty.
The 2 colors look nice together. So Isair is really big here because Isair is a Danish yarn.
Yes.
And their mohair does, I haven't used it yet, but their mohair does feel really nice. So I got that and that to go together. And then the other color that I got in it is this color. And it's like a chocolatey brown, but it's almost on the plum
It's got those
side.
good, yeah, but it's got those good flecks that like the good naps that are integrated into the fiber that I like. Very nice.
But then for this one, I got this mohair to hold with it.
Gorgeous.
So I think those are going to make, so those will be, I got enough to do like a cardigan or something with it.
Very
so
pretty.
This yarn, everybody was buying this yarn. It just feels amazing.
So nice.
And then we went to a different yarn store first. I think it was called Tant Garn. We went there actually the morning before because we got there a day early. So we went there the morning before the retreat started. And I got some of this Danish yarn, which is the same yarn that Jenny and Jill had given us to give away. But this is the lighter weight version of it. This is more of a sport weight version. So
I like the way that looks. It looks like it's going to feel amazing on your
hand. It does. It feels good. And this is they don't have color names. They're just numbers. But this is kind of like a goldy, bronzy, but real depth to it. So I got enough of that to do either a cardigan or a pullover. And then they have Cardiff cashmere here too, but this was something that I'd never seen in the Cardiff cashmere. And it's got all the little tweedy bits in it, like almost in fluorescent colors. Yeah. So I think I want to do another one of those little, the little neck ones that I did before, because you can get a nice size one just out of 1 skein of the cashmere. And then the last thing that I've gotten so far is the church that we went to today. There was some of the area in it painted that inspired Vivian to design a pattern for it.
Okay.
So I've got a picture of the church. So here's the inspiration for the pattern. So that kind of like that herringbone kind of look along the side.
Okay.
And then she designed a scarf. So this is Vivian Hawksborough, and she designed a scarf.
Oh, okay.
All these zigs
oh, yes.
And it's so pretty. And then there's all the colors of that it comes in. So what a perfect souvenir. Like, you've been to the church, we saw the inspiration.
Absolutely.
We bought it right from the designer. And I just think I think almost all of us that were there bought a kit to do the scarf.
Yes. Very nice.
So this is the Filcolana, and this is the Pernilla, and it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. But I believe that Filcolana is also a Danish company. So lots of yarn stores here, and lots.
Did you take your vacuum bags with you?
I do. I have one that I can fit some stuff in, but I tried to pack not too much stuff, so I did have some space to stuff things in. And
you have any clothes that you're not like in love with that you can leave there?
I know that's what I said. I said I'll just wear the clothes that I've got on, and the rest will be yarn. So we'll
buy a neck pillow and start packing it with yarn.
Yep. Yes. Take out the
stuffing and pack the yarn in there,
and stuff in all that mohair. That mohair will all fit in there.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So no, so that's that's it so far. We're done. So it's hard to believe. Like I said, tomorrow's the last day of the tour. It's hard to believe that a week's gone by already, and time in general just goes by too fast.
It
So
does. But it sounds like you've been very inspired by your trip. I know
yes, for sure.
we were all saying the same thing this past weekend, just being together with friends that love doing what we love doing. And I'm sure you're feeling the same way there.
Yep.
It's just, it like fills your heart. It inspires you. It just makes, it fires you up. You want to like do all the things. And it's just, it's such an amazing feeling. It's a blessing to have that gift of being able to share what you love with other people and
Yeah,
then
for
feeding
sure.
on that
Yep.
excitement. It really is. And yeah, we're very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and Sarah just popped in. Sarah learned to crochet this weekend.
Oh, awesome, Sarah.
Julia, who just learned to do granny squares on Thursday, was her teacher. I couldn't teach her. I'm a left-handed crocheter, and Sarah is right-handed. So Julia taught her, and she did very well. So we were telling Julia that she could add that to her resume now. On Thursday, she became a crocheter, and on Saturday, she was a teacher of crochet. So anyway, it was all good. We had so much fun. We really did. There were so many laughs, but yes, lovely. Okay.
Okay, well, it's getting late for me.
Yes, I bet.
So
10:20 for you, right?
Yes. But yes, 10:20. But so nice to catch up with everybody. And we will be here next week. I'll be in Oslo. Kelly will be in Courtright. So,
Courtright.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
and we will be back next week at the same time. So it will be Monday at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. So whatever that translates into for you, but I will just state the time that we are here. And what else do we have?
Paige, my wine glass is empty.
Your glass is empty. We should just quickly mention, because we're almost at the end of the month.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
So let's just pop up these. This is our make along, and we'll just mostly talk about the one that's ending not ending this month, but on the 30th of April. I had to think about that for a minute. 30th of April, the sock month will close for the month, and we will draw 2 winners. One winner gets a pattern generously donated by our friend Natalie, who is remembrances_Natalie Sheldon. Thank you, Sarah, for the note. And then also we have a yarn prize for another winner, always a sock yarn winner. And so, as I said, get all of your socks in. It doesn't matter when you started them. And then we draw the random number generator picks all the way back to number 1 for the year. And we do this every month. And then the second one, Noelle?
Yep, and don't forget all about the condiments. You know that I picked up quite a few here in the mohair yarn, but all about the condiments is your projects that you're holding something along with your main yarn. So it could be mohair, it could be Surrey silk, it could be lace weight alpaca, it could be a sparkle, but you're basically doing a project. And some have asked about if you do 2 strands of mohair. Yes, 2 strands of mohair is fine. So your project needs to contain that. And you need to use a minimum of 50 grams of yarn. Whips are allowed if it was less than 50% complete as of April 1st. And that knit along goes until June 30th, 2025.
Yes,
so you still have time for that. So.
And I saw lots of projects on the go this weekend of people who are knitting with condiments. So that was really inspiring to see. And they're working their way through into the make along. So I have one photo that I want to leave here with. I alluded to it just a minute ago, how wonderful it is to get your cup filled up with amazing makers. And this was a picture of us Saturday morning at the yarn store. And immediately there to my left, in between me and Julia, that is Ruth, who made that amazing project that I showed earlier, the little quilted barn. And then let me see, Sarah is at the back in the royal blue sweater, and next to her is Lindsay, and Lindsay is Ruth's daughter, and Lindsay is the teacher that showed me how to do the English paper piecing. And then the 2 ladies beside her, because these are non-Sarnia knitters, are from Grosse Pointe, just outside of Detroit, and that's Susan and Tracy. And we met them last year at the flock together. And of course, we've got the always lovely Jillian at the cash register checking out all of our great purchases. We had the best time. Thank you so much to Jolyn and Jillian and Pam. That made a lovely weekend for us. And as I said earlier, our hearts are full. It was such a great weekend.
Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us. It's so nice to be able to connect with everybody. Hopefully I'll have more to show you next week, and I'm excited about Sweden. We just unfortunately found out that the one Thursday that we get to spend the whole year is a bank holiday, so most likely everything's going to be closed, but we'll have fun walking around and going for coffee and
absolutely.
Yeah, so there. Ulrika said if I need any suggestions, I need to know what's going to be open. So we go there on Wednesday morning and we leave there on Friday morning. So I think we get there around 1:00 on Wednesday, and then we're there until Friday morning. But and then we move on to Bergen. So, but anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you have an amazing week, and thanks for everybody that watches after the fact, and see you next week. Happy knitting.